Welcome to the EWS Monitoring YouTube channel. Today we're installing a mobile weather station right here in West Australia's Pilbara, built to handle the heat, wind, dust and remote conditions. In this video I'll show you how to assemble and install a mobile station using the EWS EMT telemetry device and a tipping bucket rain gauge. Let's get started. First, prep up your work area and determine the position of the weather station. Remove the center bolt from the tripod base to allow the legs to move freely. Expand the legs fully until they're sitting flat on the ground. You'll need to remove the locking pin at the base, then reinsert it through the center ring to lock the legs into position. Before raising the mast, locate the north direction marker on the sensor unit. Mark the north line clearly on the sensor's base with the intention of being visible from below. Plug in the sensor cable at the base of the weather sensor, then slide the sensor onto the mast. If needed, extend your north mark down the mast with the marker. This makes final alignment much easier once the mast is upright. Finally, tighten the grub screws securely. Next, let's raise the mast. Thread the sensor cable down through the tripod legs. You may need to remove a leg locking pin briefly to allow the plug to pass through. Now, insert the mast into the tripod. It will rest on the locking bolt that was removed earlier and automatically set sensor height. Then align your previous north markings to true north. Your phone's compass app is accurate enough for this setup. Once positioned, tighten the mast locking sleeves firmly. Now unpack the guide wires and separate them carefully. Make sure there are no tangles. You'll want to wind each tension hook all the way out to allow for maximum adjustment range. Hook each wire into the D-loop at the tripod base and tension them evenly until firm. You can fine-tune the mast vertical alignment by gently tightening or loosening individual wires until the mast sits plumb. Finally, secure the tripod legs using pegs or ground anchors. Pre-drill if required, especially if in hard rocky ground. If installing on sand or other surfaces, you may need to use alternative anchor systems and ensure the anchor is deep enough to resist strong winds and adverse weather. Finally, make sure everything is stable and locked into place. Your weather station's no good if it's halfway down the valley. For this setup, we're mounting the EWS EMT device directly to the rain gauge stand. Using the cable length as a guide, position the rain gauge approximately 5 meters from the mast. This helps minimize rain shadowing and improves data accuracy. Set down the rain gauge stand and adjust it until it's level. For permanent installations, we recommend a 600 by 600 mm concrete pad. For mobile setups like this, ground anchors or pegs are sufficient. Just remember to pre-drill as required. Now we can lay out some polypipe or flexi and feed the sensor cable through. Feed the sensor cable through some polypipe or flexi tube to protect it from UV, heat, wildlife and other damages. You can secure the conduit to the tripod using some cable ties. If installing in sandy soil, you can always bury the conduit in a shallow trench around 200 mm deep. Now we will attach the EMT to the rain gauge stand using the supplied hardware. Align the rain gauge feet with the correct nutserts on the stand and fasten securely. If needed, remove the outer cowling for easier access during installation. Always remember, before closing the rain gauge, to remove the rubber band from the tipping bucket and ensure the tipping mechanism moves freely and the base of the gauge remains level. Next, feed the 2-core sensor cable through the base and attach the bare wires to the reed switch on the rain gauge. Then connect all sensor cables to the EMT. You can follow the EMT configuration and quick start wiring guide on ewsmonitoring.com/resources. Depending on how you ordered your setup, the cables and ports may be labelled for quick plug and play installation. Now we can power up and test. Double press the press button on the side of the EWS EMT device. You should see a blue flashing light. Open the EWS Links app and pair the device to your phone. You can then sample test readings and force a transmission. Make sure you record the IMEI and serial number for identification later in Orion. Now, make sure to replace the outer cowling of the rain gauge and test the rain gauge using a known volume calibration kit. For this model, we're aiming for approximately 50 tips plus or minus 2 of them. For more detail on rain gauge calibration setup, see our dedicated rain gauge installation video on our YouTube channel. While tips are being counted, we secured the conduit with rocks or anchors to prevent movement from wind or animals, but you could easily dig this in as previously mentioned in sandier soils. Finally, confirm your final tip count is within tolerance. And that's it. You now have a fully operational portable weather station, ready to collect critical environmental data anywhere. If this video helped, please like and subscribe and share your own EWS installations with us. We'd love to see them. Thanks for watching, and remember, connect everywhere.